Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3, and today I'm going to be giving you part 7 of What If Naruto's Soul Was Taken by the Shinigami. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual, share this to all of your friends on your social media platform, and also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new series over on Anime King 2 of What If Naruto Found an Ancient Power in the Forbidden Scroll of Sealing. And enjoy that guys. And also remember, if you're new, stay in tune for there's what ifs coming your way over Anime King. Yes guys, I indeed have 3 channels, Anime King, Anime King 2, and Anime King 3. You have not mistaken, it is correct. Links will be down in the description for you guys to enjoy, so go ahead, click that red subscribe button, become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support, and yeah, without further ado, what do you say we begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last time we left off, as Naruto was explaining to Kakashi that he has been here before, well, in the past, as Kakashi didn't quite to understand after all, there was a war going on, so how did Naruto have time to split his attention that way? As Naruto told him where there was a will, there was a way, and he had a little interaction with Mitarumi. Kakashi quickly summarized to say that he slept with her, which he was correct to say. Afterwards, Naruto was called by Mitarumi as he made his way, as she was alone inside. As she asked him to explain, he went on to explain what happened. Knowing him, she knew that he would do something that dumb without knowing if it would actually work. As he apologized for, leaving, she told him that she already forgave him for that. After all, that was a long time ago. And she understand he was in a war. And things were heated and hot and passionate, but it was still a time of war. As Naruto told her he missed her, she slapped him though, rather hard. She was still kinda pissed. But she told him that she was tired, as is true. She was tired of this civil war. As Naruto promised her that he would make sure that this comes to an end. He was never one to break his promise. So in the moment he said that, she believed him. As she believed that he could actually do it. He could actually help them. With his support and his driving force, they could actually overcome Yagura. Yagura, on the other hand, the next morning, wanted to wipe the rebels out. They needed to be erased. He needed to put an end to them, once and for all. But so far, the location was a problem as he could not find a single one of them. But now, how stupid could they be as he felt the chakras lictors? As a man could feel through the water that was currently in the mist. He quickly made his way out there, flanked by his envoys. As he arrived to see Mei and the rest of her flunkies, it seems like she's finally given up on living. As it was no time that he aimed her, she would not be escaping this time, and he promised her that. He launched himself towards her to end her existence, but in the smoke he was blocked by none other than Naruto, who grabbed onto him and they were gone. While the battle between the rebels and loyalists went on, Naruto threw down Yagura. The man was surprised to see him here, but he had heard about his revival. He told Naruto to leave. When Naruto declined, he told him he would send him back to wherever he was, as they started a fight. It was then that Kurama felt something strange. It was Aisabu. It was under an illusion. Just like what happened to him all those years ago. As Naruto got pissed as he thought about that same masked man that Minato had told him about. With that, he quickly started to take on Sage Mode. Taking on Yagura, Yagura suddenly found himself unable to clash against Naruto, as he started to tap into Beijo's power. He did not waste any time as he went straight to the three-tailed beast as it was brought forward to the land. As Naruto welcomed it with open arms as they fought, until he dropped down on the thing with that super booming bomb, dropping the thing in the ground as he was able. He used Karama Chakra to spread it through the beast system. Entering the mine, he was able to break the Genjutsu by flaring a dose amount of chakra by breaking through it. Yes, it was strong, but there wasn't anything that Naruto couldn't break with his chakra. And just like that, Yagura remembered everything. He remembered what he did. He remembered him being used and unable to fight it as he broke down. The man started to cry as he had put so much people, so many of his friends to death because he had bloodlines. He couldn't take it. He wanted Naruto to end him. And he wanted this to stay a secret between them. For his people to know that they did this all because he was being controlled, that would surely break them. Let him go down as a bad criminal that did this all. The man was willing to take that all on even though he was being controlled. When Naruto came back towards the battle scene, it was with Yagura in his arms, dead. The Beijo chakra has been expelled from his body after slashing him down. Even ICB deserve a break. Having it reform and out of the picture would be good for now. The loyalists quickly surrendered when they saw who was standing there, as Naruto introduced himself. Later that night, her counselors didn't like that Naruto took the body of Yagura, even though Naruto waited until they finished examining it, but she was able to smooth things over after all. He's done so much for them. As Naruto gave him a proper resting area and buried him in the far islands of Kiri. After he was gone, making a promise to himself that he would hunt down that masked man and erase him. The masked man appeared as he watched the scene with a critical eye before he vanished. So yeah guys, that's basically as we left off. You guys can switch across the place and check it for yourself so it's to be in this new episode. We begin this episode at Konoha in the office as Minato was handed a note by one of his envoys. Unsealing it, it was from Naruto. He smiled when he saw what was written on said note. It was over. Kakashi, Naruto, and Shizune, they were all fine. As that made Minato smile happily. His faith never wavered in Naruto any bit, but he was surprised that it was done this quickly. It was done much sooner than he expected. Now, they had to remain for a bit longer to show their support, to show that Konoha is back in Kiri, so that Kumo wouldn't try anything, especially Hidden Stone, who had been strangely quiet so far. Meanwhile, at the Hidden Sand village, Gaara was currently looking down towards his village. There was a genuine smile on his face. Him and his group was captured after the failed invasion that they were tricked into, but they came out of it, well, he did, with something good. He made a new friend. Her name was Mito Uzumaki Namikaze. She had spoken to him while he was confined. She was just like him at Jinchuriki. She then and her uncle look on his seal. As Gaara looked down toward his stomach, no longer did he hear the demon whispering in his mind. He could still use the demon power, but not an excessive amount until he fully learned how to control it. But he could still use the power. It was all thanks to Mito and her uncle. Mito is his new friend. She had promised that she would come visit him. He never really had a friend before. As he looked around, and he had promised her that he would change and make good for his village. And he will become the next Kazekage, taking over, making the people trust him. He will show them that they can trust him and rely on him because he will keep them safe, no matter what. Meanwhile that was going on, Mito was panting heavily as she was on the ground. Around her there was several split leaf. Her face was down in the ground, as she seemed to be exhausted, but she did it. She did it, and she couldn't believe it. She promised that she would, and she finally did it. But she was not the only one. Sasuke was asleep. As he was lying on his back, he had something in his palm though. It was a leaf. As there was a clear hole right in the center with the other pieces being burned. He did as he was told. The hole was perfect and it did not spread too far. The only one that was still on her feet was Sakura. Her exercise was not as grueling as theirs, as she was working on expanding her chakra system. At the moment though, she was going up the tree, as she had few leaves balancing on her skin. As she was getting better, she was now up to 5 leaves. She had to say, Naruto Sensei was a lot better than Kakashi Sensei by a lot, as he taught them a lot more. As she made her way up the tree, she was determined to get as strong as both of them. As she glanced over towards Mito and Sasuke, they never give up until they got what they got. She was not going to give up either, as she held on to a 6th leaf, as she placed it to her forehead and started to channel her chakra throughout her body. As it stuck to her forehead, she started to sweat, as it was a bit more pressure doing this, but she was not going to give up. Meanwhile, at Kiri, for years now, the people of Kiri has went through a lot. Either it be the civilians, the loyalists, or the rebels. Everyone has been through a lot. But after years of these grueling, hellish times, it was finally over. They could finally rest. They could finally sit back and relax, because the war was over and they were at peace. Yes, a few loyalists were still loyal to Yagura even in death, but they were isolated from the rest before they could corrupt them, as most of them realized that Yagura falling means it was over. And not to mention there was a deterrent here. His name was Naruto Uzumaki the Limitless, and it would be such a waste to die by his hands, seeing that Yagura has already fallen. The place was starting to look back up. Even though it was still destroyed in many places, the feeling, the vibes, was getting there. As for one, Naruto Uzumaki, he was just waking up. As he stretched and yawned, waking up, as he felt something on top of his chest. Slowly looking down, he saw the beautiful auburn hair of Mei Terume, as she was still asleep. As a smile came to Naruto's face, as he remembered last night. Flashback. They had celebrated. They had drank. After all, they had finally won this war. Mei and Naruto were the only one left, as they had a lot more to talk and catch up about. Well, since they had not been talking for the past couple of years. Not to mention he was dead and all. For someone of her slender figure, she could handle her liquor quite well. Naruto was a bit tipsy, but nothing too over exotic. She was as well. Their little talk had turned into flirting, as she had scooted closer to him, as Naruto was leaning back. As Naruto changed the subject and asked, "So what now?" "Now that everything is over." "Simple," she said. "We rebuild Kiri to what it once was. It might take a while, but it will get there once again." "Well, I'm not leaving just yet," said Naruto. "I'll stick around for a while and help, as much as I can." "Thank you," she said. "You've always been generous. I'm really glad that you're back, you know." "I'm glad I'm back as well," said Naruto, as the both of them took another shot. As she placed down the cup of sake, she looked him directly in the eyes. "Let's stop screwing around here, and let's get down to the real celebration." As he chuckled a bit. "Oh, and what might that be? Are you really gonna be like this?" she asked. "What, you want me to beg or something?" she told him. Perhaps," said Naruto. "You know I love to have my ego stroke. Well, from my memory, that isn't the only thing that you like to have stroke," she said. "You know me all too well, me. Well, let's get to know each other a bit better than before." As she climbed on top of him, sitting on his waist. She looked down with a smile on her face. "I see. Much things haven't changed." "I like that," she said. "Come on, around you. Of course they wouldn't change," said Naruto. "I mean, have you seen you?" "Aw, you're making me blush." "I intend to do a lot more than just make you blush," he told her. She leaned in towards his ear. "Let's see if you can," she said, as she rested both her hands on his chest. And from that point on, things escalated beyond the point of no return. They were lucky enough to find a bed, as they were moving so fast. Things were being ripped and torn off. In the flashback, as Naruto looked down towards her. Most guys were afraid to even approach her because of her standing and how she carried herself. Most guys were too afraid, but Naruto wasn't afraid of anything. He wondered where Kakashi and Shizune were, as Shizune has been doing a lot, helping the people and not to mention the medics, giving them tips and helping them here and there. As for Kakashi, he had been fighting, but, well, in terms of doing much, he hasn't been doing that much. But he was good to have on the mission, but they were still going to help with Kiri. Time skip. A few weeks later, hundreds of clones could be seen, perhaps 1,000, moved around the village helping all the people of Kiri. And they were grateful for the help. As the real Naruto was on one of the many islands, as he was sitting down, his legs crossed, meditating, spreading his senses around, as he was doing a favor for me. He was looking for Utakata, the Jinchuriki of the Six Tails, as he was on one of these desolate islands, using sage mode and not to mention the fox. Inherent ability to sense, Naruto was able to spread his senses far and wide, but he had to focus extremely well. There, said Kurama, a few miles to the east, as Naruto picked himself up. He was dressed in his battle gear, as he wasn't sure what to expect. He then rocketed off at incredible speeds, making his way. Meanwhile, with Utakata, as he was on a morning errand to scrunch up some breakfast, he has been in hiding for the past couple of years, moving from island to island. Kira ninjas being after him, he would not help in their war, killing other Kira ninjas just because they had bloodline or they did not. He did not want to be a part of this. He just wanted to be left alone. But they have continued to send countless undos after him. He had to retaliate sometime, but sometime he was able to flee before they could do anything. His senses picked up something. It was coming, and it was fast. Utakata turned as he saw the person landed in a tree above him. Utakata, I presume. As Naruto jumped down, the man reached for something. It seemed to be a pipe of sorts. Who are you? My name is Naruto Uzumaki. We haven't met, but I'm here to bring you back to Kiri. Utakata clenched his fists. You too. I won't go back, he said. No, let me explain, said Naruto. Leave me alone! As he released bubbles towards Naruto. They were fast. Naruto moved as they obliterated the tree with an explosion. The moment he landed, Utakata came down with that same pipe of his. Bringing out his blade, Naruto blocked it as the thing was tough. Utakata twists as he drives a brutal kick into Naruto's stomach. Naruto was sent skating a few feet back. As Naruto raised his hand in defense, look, I'm not here to fight you. I just want to talk. Talk. That is what they always say. But you're not an envoy from Kiri. So you must be a mercenary. Well then, I don't have to hold back. He screamed. Naruto. He's tapping into Psychon power, said Kurama, as Naruto watches Utakata's skin turn blood red as he entered the second form of Tail Beast transformation. As 6 menacing tails waved behind him, he growled angrily as steam came from his mouth. He then launched himself towards Naruto, its claws extended to rip Naruto to pieces. As Naruto jumped back as he tore the tree in half coming towards him. His tail lashed out as he tried to impale Naruto as he flipped. Jumping straight up in the air, Utakata twisted his body in a strange way as his skin took on a purple hue. He's fast, said Naruto, as his speed seemed to have tripled. As he twisted his body and wrapped around Naruto, as Naruto felt his skin burning. Immediately, the version 1 cloak appeared on Naruto as he started to extend his arms. A primal roar escaped his lips as he pushed Utakata off him before he twists in mid-air and dropped his heel on the man's shoulder. The sending force dropped Utakata like a bomb as he crashed in the earth. But he got up like it was nothing as he pulled out several trees out of the earth and launched them towards Naruto. Naruto flashed through a series of hand signs. Lightning release. Heaven splitter as he clapped his hand. The force of electricity split the trees down the middle as Utakata twists past Naruto, bringing a dozen more trees with him. They were coming at full force. A Rasengan formed in both of Naruto's hands as he launched them forward, turning the trees into barks. Utakata used that split second of distraction to burst a hand out of the ground from behind Naruto and slugged him with immense force. As Naruto's head broke through the remaining trees as he was thrust forward, he crashed on the ground. Naruto spat to the side as he slowly picked himself up. This guy doesn't even give me a chance to talk, and I'm just here to talk to him. Well then, if it's a beatdown he wants, I'll knock him out then, I'll talk to him. You know you can use your chains and suppress him, right? Said Kurama. Yeah, but I'm a bit pissed off, said Naruto, that he just attacked me and don't even give me a time to talk. I mean, I wasn't about to do him any harm. And doesn't he see that I also possess a Bichu like him, and yet he doesn't even stop fighting? Seeing Naruto stand still, Utakata moved with incredible speed to take Naruto out with one slice, his claws ready to rip into flesh. But Naruto turned as fists connect with claws, as his body was now empowered by Sage Mode. The hand of Utakata snapped down from the incredible force. The Bichu stepped back with a frown and a pissed off look, as Naruto's hands were coated in the Version 1 form cloak so he would not be burned by the Bichu's chakra from the second tail. He then turned towards Utakata as the changes were visible. Utakata did not hear though as he rooted a massive stone into the earth and launched it towards Naruto. Jumping forward, Naruto smashed it to a million pieces before he cracked his fist in the earth. The ground broke and splintered upwards as Naruto used the momentum to move his speed. As Utakata blinked, the Bichu turned to meet Naruto headway, but Naruto boot the spring around and clipped him under his chin, snapping his head to the sky. As Naruto flashed above him, hand extended before he grasped both hands together and dropped it in his skull. The force slammed Utakata hard as Naruto grabbed one of his tails before twisting and launching him straight up. Abichu could take a lot more and he knew that. He flashed above him with nothing but raw speed. The Bichu was unable to keep up as a Rasengan formed, as Naruto would not allow him to transform. The Rasengan slammed into his stomach right where the seal was, as the thing exploded, driving him down to the earth. His body hit it with an unnatural crack, breaking the entire place apart. Splinters of stone and wood was sent everywhere from the trees and the ground. But Naruto was not done yet as he saw him getting up, as he did the same thing that he did on Yagura as he started twisting mid-air. The Bichu white eyes went wide before Naruto's spin came down like a gig and smashed into him, blowing several dozen things away, as Utakata was knocked clean out. As Naruto landed on his feet, down towards the unconscious Jinchuriki. Time skip. Utakata groaned as he started to wake up. The last thing he remembered was that gig of pure energy coming down towards him, and then everything went black. His mind forcefully shut down. He tried to access his chakra but he could not, nor could he access the power of Saigon. He frowned as he was captured. He must already be back in Kiri, but he looked around. He was still in said forest that he had fought in. His nose picked up something wonderful as he turned his head to see the blonde red-headed man beside him, having a pot over flames, cooking something that was smelling rather delicious. Utakata looked towards the man confused, as he was the one that fought him. He looked down and saw that he was bound to the tree. As Naruto saw that he was awake, you're awake. I got hungry. Seeing that you were taking so long to wake up, so I decided to make some ramen. Good thing I always keep a few packs on me, and not to mention the pot and the utensils. Would you like some? No. Utakata said immediately, but his stomach betrayed him as it grumbled. It doesn't sound that way. I don't want anything from you. Let me go. What have you done to me? Why? Can't I use your chakra? Said Naruto. I say let up for the moment until you listen to me. Look, you kind of pissed me off. I'm not one to get easily pissed off, but I barely introduced myself. Yes, I'm from Kiri, but not from your village. I'm from Konoha. The name is Naruto Uzumaki. If you haven't heard it before, you must have heard the moniker Limitless, said Naruto. Utakata narrowed his eyes. What do you want? He said. Of course he heard that name. Almost everybody heard it. I'm not here to drag you back into some war or something like that. You didn't give me a chance to explain. The war is over. What? Yes. Yagura is dead. I killed him myself. Now, peace is in your village. They're trying to maintain that peace and stability. Mei told me that you ran away because each side wanted you to fight for them. But you refused. You didn't want to kill your fellow Kiri ninjas. So you ran away and you've been hunted ever since by both rebels and loyalists. But now it's over, said Naruto as he pulled a kunai. He threw it. Utakata watched as the kunai cut the rope as he was now freed. He got to his feet, moving his muscles as he walked over. How do I know that this is not some sort of ploy or a trick? If it was, you'd have woke up in Kiri, said Naruto, strapped down to a table. But you're here with me instead. And I assure you I'm not lying to you. Oh yeah, as he reached into his pouch, he tossed a scroll towards him as Utakata caught it. That is from the council of the village. As you can see that they all signed it. As you know, your village is currently lacking in manpower right now given the recent war that took place for years now. They need you back. Who knows, there might be threats out there that are ready to attack Kiri as we speak. But you being from Konoha, what does this mean? Is Konoha allied with Kiri? Asked Utakata as he sat down. Yeah, said Naruto. Besides, I'm here. You don't have that much to worry about. His stomach grumbled again. Seems like you're quite hungry, said Naruto, as he poured him a bowl. Utakata accepted, no longer feeling as hostile as before. He took a sip. He had to admit it was good. He glanced towards Naruto. I thought you were dead. I get that a lot, said Naruto with a smile. Time skip. It has been a month and a few days since Naruto retrievement of Utakata. Another thing for the people of Kiri to be grateful for. But Naruto was not a person to take praise or be all, well, fancy over it like that. But it was no time for them to return back to Konoha, as they had helped Kiri a lot in terms of manpower, and not to mention helping them, stopping this once and for all. At the moment though, Naruto stood in the office. The place was not yet to 100%, but Naruto was in the office with Mei, as she was looking at him. So what does this mean? She asks. This means you're now Mizukage, said Naruto. I thought I wouldn't have to explain that. She punched him in the arm. You know that's not what I'm talking about. For us, she asks, as Naruto stepped close and wrapped his arms around her. I lost you once. I don't intend to do that again. I'm sure that now that you're, well, the Mizukage, I can pop in every now and then to come and visit you, take you out on a few dates and, well, see what happened afterwards. Well, we are eternally thankful for you and your assistance for what you have done, she said. So, I don't see what's the problem of you popping in every now and then, as she had a smile on her face. Well then, said Naruto as he wrapped his arms around her and laid a rather passionate kiss on her lips. As he then pulled apart, she frowned a bit. Why do you have to go and do that? And you're leaving now, you jackass, she asks. As Naruto smiled, just something for you to think of me. As he gave her a wink. As Naruto made his way around the other facilities, there were several people that he decided to say goodbye to. After all, he knew several of them in his time here. And there was one in particular, Kojiro. As he was looking forward to see what he made of himself in the future, he was quite a talented swordsman. Not to mention he possessed one of the legendary blades. As Naruto promised me that he will keep an eye out for Kisame. Time skip. As the group was making their way back home, After their long-term mission, Kakashi, like usual, was reading his book, hopping to 3 from 3. It was a surprise that he hadn't crashed on his face yet, despite having his book out. As Naruto was speaking with Shizune, as Naruto was talking as they were getting closer, the land of fire, he felt something. As it was strong. The overwhelming presence. That chakra, he knew that chakra. It's been a while but he knew it. It was much stronger than before. A lot stronger. Bordering on almost tail beast level. As Naruto was a sensor just like Kushina, the Uzumakis were not only able to sense chakra signature, they were able to sense a base of someone's chakra. Even if the person was forcefully trying to suppress it in a way, they were able to sense a force of it to feel how strong the chakra was. As Naruto kept on speaking as he spoke, Shizune, he said, "It seems like we have a bit of trouble up ahead." She kept calm, as she had the feel work to be calm in these situations. How much, he asks. Just 2 from what I can sense. One of them possess a rather large amount of chakra. As Kakashi narrowed his eyes in his book, but he spoke. "What do we do?" he said. "I know this chakra," said Naruto. The other one also seemed really familiar. "Whoever these people are, they're not supposed to be here." As Naruto whispered something to them, the group landed as they started to walk. As there were 2 men currently making their way towards them, about to walk past them. Both men were wearing black cloaks, with red clouds on them. Given the fact that the Akatsuki has not infiltrated the leaf yet, there has been no sightings of them, so they were not opposed to just walking past these people. The both of them were wearing straw hats. As Naruto and his group calmly walked, Shizune was on the left. Kakashi stood right beside Naruto. As they calmly walked towards said group, the rather larger man had something strapped to his back. As he reached over and gripped it, the shorter man whispered something, but it was barely hearable. The taller man though grabbed onto his weapon just in case. As Naruto had his eyes closed as he walked, his hands behind his head. It happened so quickly as Shizune quickly jumped away to get away, as this was not something that she could handle. Immediately, Naruto's sword poofed in his hand from the seal on his wrist as he swung the blade. It connected with Kisame Samehata. Kakashi threw a few kunais, forcing Itachi to jump back. The group were told to watch the borders and to not intervene. Their job by their leader, as this was not the right time for them to go about attacking Konoha, especially with this man around, and they ran right into him. "I must say, it must be my lucky day," said Naruto. "You should know, Kisame. I've just spoken about you recently." I'm honored," said Kisame. "After all, for you of all people to speak about little old me. I wonder though, in what regard?" "Well, it's quite simple. I've been told to return you back to Kiri, for you to face your crimes that you've committed." "Quite the notorious criminal," said Naruto. Kisame chuckled a bit. "Well, you know, we gotta do what we have to do." "Yes, I know," said Naruto. "That is why. I much apologize, but I have to take you back in." Kisame chuckled some more. "You think that you can," he said. "You've been dead for an awfully long while. I'm surprised that you're even standing in front of me. Although, now that you're alive, I can have my rematch with you." Naruto knew Kisame from the past. Yes, they knew each other quite well. They fought in several different scenarios. As Naruto was with Ibiki on that mission, as Kisame had slaughtered all of his comrades and then fled. As Naruto hated the man for someone to kill their own like that, and the way he did it without even a shred of mercy. Even though they were not his comrades, Naruto hated to see things like that, as the girl was not preparing for it. As she was just cut down by Kisame, Naruto saw the look in her eyes as she pleaded to him why he was doing this, but he didn't seem to care. Kisame jumped back as Naruto's gaze turned towards the other man. that refused to look him in the eyes. Itachi would not look Naruto in the eyes. As Naruto was looking directly at him, but Itachi was not facing him instead. He was standing back. "Itachi, it's been a while," said Naruto. Itachi said nothing. As Kisame came in, but Naruto didn't have time for him. Kakashi, seeing that Naruto seemed to want to speak with, Itachi went through hand sign as a massive earth wall rose. Kisame broke right through it, but he met a lightning blade. But Samihata tried to absorb the shock of the lightning blade, only for Kakashi to start glow, before he exploding, a great exploding clone. But it caused Itachi to jump away, as Naruto landed right in front of him. But he knew that Kisame was a dangerous individual. Kakashi was strong, but he could not fight him alone. Going through hand signs, Naruto slammed his hand down. As it was a poof, Naruto-sama, a voice said, as a blue thunderbird emerged. "Raichu," said Naruto, "I want you to back up Kakashi to face off against Kisame." "Understood." As the bird made its way towards Kakashi, as Naruto turned towards his longtime friend. He's known Itachi since he was a kid. He has watched Itachi grow. Itachi was always a smart kid for his age. He was never like the other kids playing around and enjoying his youth. All he ever wanted was to make this world a better place for his brother. When he found out that his mother was pregnant, he was overjoyed. At first he was scared, and Naruto was the one that he had spoken to. They had a good relationship after all. And they spoke quite well. And Naruto told him that he just had to take up the reins and be a big brother and protect his little brother. Itachi promised that he would never let his brother come to any harm. But what he did was even worse. "Look at me," said Naruto. Itachi would not meet his eyes. "It's been a long time, Naruto-kun," he said. "Is that all you have to say? I've been gone for 12 years. I expected to see you married, with a kid or two. After all, I always tease you about Izumi, but the girl was obsessed with you. While you were socially awkward, I thought I beat that out of you," said Naruto, "and let you realize that you're not a bad-looking fellow. And there were a lot of girls crushing over you. But now, after 12 years of being gone, I came to realize that you killed your entire clan. Not even that, your father and your mother. How could you kill Mikoto? She loved you. She loved you. You were her son. She would have given anything to you, and you killed her. I don't understand your reasons, but you're gonna tell me right here and now." "Minato does not know. Your brother told me that you did it to test your power, but I refuse to believe that. So, speak. Why did you massacre your clan and leave your little brother all alone?" "Speak, damn it," said Naruto, as his temper started to get better of him. "The world has changed," Itachi said. "At first, you told me that we could change it, but you were wrong. Because you died," Itachi said. "It just showed how corrupted the world was. And you're right. I have changed. Because I massacred all of them to test the limits of my Sharingan. I wanted to prove that I was the strongest. My clan was holding me back. They were making me weak. I proved it to myself that I was the strongest by slaughtering them all. And Sasuke? Why did you leave him alive then? He was just a annoying little child that wouldn't believe that I was the one that did this. So I decided to let him stew in all that pain. Yes, maybe one time I did care, but now, well, that has been a long time ago, Naruto. As you said, you've been gone for 12 years. So don't pretend like you know me anymore." As Naruto released a sigh, "It's hard for me to believe you, that you're telling me the truth. I guess I'll have to apologize to Sasuke. I knew that he wanted to kill you himself, but going down that path will only lead him to hatred even more. Because once he does take your life, he will have nothing. No one left. You will be gone and his purpose will be over. It will drive him in a sense of loneliness. I've seen people in war revenge the ones that they lost several times. And they have no satisfaction, no happiness afterwards. And to make things even worse, you actually don't care. I thought there was actually a reason for him to believe that you were not the enemy. But hearing you say this now, I don't believe so, said Naruto. So what are you saying, Itachi asks. What apologizing to my brother will do? I'm gonna apologize after I kill you, said Naruto. Because I cannot forgive what you've done. I don't know what reason or what would cause you to snap like this. But killing your own mother and father, killing those innocent people, the Uchihas might be arrogant, but they're also the clan with the most love, shown in their eyes and their visual prowess. But you, Itachi. As Naruto shook his head, before he gripped his blade tightly, clenching the handle, Itachi looked at him. You've been gone for a long while. Don't presume that you're still able to toy with me as you used to do. Oh, trust me, Itachi. You don't know what I'm capable of now. You might have gotten stronger, said Naruto. But you will lose. As Itachi looked around as he felt a feeling of dread, it just slammed on his shoulders. Itachi started to feel his vision darken. The side, like pure darkness, was creeping up on him. What is this? His Sharingan tried to dispel any genjutsu, but that was not possible for a genjutsu to be placed on him of all person. But there was none. So what the hell was this? Before things could escalate though, before the battle could go on, there was a massive explosion to the far right. Both men were forced to step back as debris and dust flooded the area as Kakashi came back, flying on top of the Thunderbird that Naruto summoned. Kakashi jumped off as his left sleeve was torn off. There was a bit of blood dropping on his arm. What was that? Said Naruto. We have more. Itachi jumped back as Naruto watched something drop. He immediately shot his hand out as lightning pierced right through the clay bird before it would explode. They were cursing mid-air. As Naruto looked up towards him, he opened his hand as several spiders came falling down. Flipping through hand sign, Naruto had to grab Kakashi as he jumped out of the way. The moment they moved, there was an explosion as a strange, whirling vortex would open up and release a dozen paper bombs right on their position. Naruto clone was with Shizune to keep her safe, so she was perfectly fine. The moment him and Kakashi landed, Kakashi glanced towards Naruto. Naruto's reflexes were on point even more than his. I'm afraid I can't let you fight here and now, a voice said, as both men turned to see the masked man. The moment Itachi and Kisame had interacted with them, and especially Naruto, Zetsu had sent information back immediately. Luckily, Deidara was in the area, not too far away, to bomb the place. He was just here for a distraction. After all, the man under that mask knew exactly who Naruto was. And he knew what Naruto was capable of, so he didn't want him to fight any of his Akatsuki members yet. He wouldn't want to lose them so quickly. It's you, said Naruto. As Kakashi narrowed his gaze, Minato Sensei had told him about a man that was responsible for the removal of 9 tails. As Naruto felt the man's chakra, the man was scrambling his chakra so that it could not be sensed. That means Naruto perhaps knew who was under that mask, but the man was afraid for him to find out. So you finally show your face to me. But it doesn't look like you're here to fight me. Correct. I'm just here to talk, Naruto Uzumaki. I thought you would have stayed dead, but that doesn't seem to be the case. As Naruto clenched his fist, but then he released it. I'm gonna kill you, you know that, right? You talk big, but can you actually accomplish that? I know that you must know that I was the one that fought Minato and released the 9 tails on the village. You must truly want me dead after all. I was partially responsible for your death all those years ago. Speaking of that, how did you manage to come back to the land of the living? A dead man don't need to worry about that, said Naruto. But yet here I stand, the man said. Oh, don't you worry. Soon enough, I will find you, and there will be nowhere to run. And I will hunt you down. And I will make sure that every waking moment will be nothing but pain and agony that you never felt before. That is what I promise you, whoever you are. Well then, I sure do look forward to that day, if you can make something like that happen. But for now, I merely wish to see you in real life. After all, I've just been hearing speculations, but now to see that you're actually alive, I must say, death is really just an illusion. But soon enough, we will have our moment, but today is just not the day. The masked man looked down to see a sword through his chest, but it was not harming him. As I said, today is not the day, he said. As he had his Kamui activated the moment he stepped foot here. He couldn't stay longer than 5 minutes though, as he would have to take a break. As he started to suck himself away in a swirling vortex, as Kakashi looked towards his side to see Naruto already gone from beside him. As it always amazed him how fast Naruto was. But the man, his attack went right through him like he was a ghost. As Naruto gritted his teeth in frustration. But he had saw the way the man sucked himself away. It was directed toward his eyes. As Naruto was not sure about all the Sharingan ability, but the man did call himself Madara Uchiha to Minato. But that was definitely not Madara. This was just a coward who was hiding and scrambling his chakra signature so that Naruto would not find out. But he escaped. But it's only a matter of time before he hunt him down and find him. It's only a matter of time before he finally decided to fight him, but he had to get away around that jutsu of his. It allowed him to pass right through him. It had been activated the moment he arrived, because Naruto sensed no chakra pulse or anything of him using a jutsu. So he had been cautious, but he just bided him time to escape. Naruto activated a seal on his arm to tell the clone to bring Shizune back. Time skip. Obito appeared back at his lair. As he sat down with a frown on his face, he placed his hand towards his chest. He was faster than before. A lot faster, and that was saying something considering that his speed was on Minato's level, even before his death. But now, this was more troubling than he thought. It was a good thing, as Zetsu rose on the ground, that Zetsu had informed him what was going on. So, what happened, said Zetsu. I was right. Somehow, wherever he was, if he was really dead, he was training. He's a lot faster. Do you really think that he would have been able to take Kisame, and Itachi, and Deidara by himself? He's a dangerous individual, I assure you. He would not come out of it unscathed, but I don't believe they will be successful. So, we can't allow him to interact with any of the Akatsuki members. For now. Not for now. What about Nagato? Nagato will have to be his challenge. But it will still be difficult. For who? Said Zetsu. For Nagato. Zetsu was silent, yes. Limitless was that powerful. To make Obito say that. He was powerful before he died, but now, he had gotten a lot more powerful, and a lot more dangerous, and Obito was worried. As he touched his chest once again, that was one default thanks to his Kamui, speed, and Naruto had that in spades. Damn it, he frowned. Why did he have to come back? And now, he had to move Kisame and Itachi from their scouting missions otherwise. If they are found once again, and if they're too late, it wouldn't be good for anyone. Time skip, Hokage's office. As Naruto sat down with Minato, he got away. Yes, what you told me about this jutsu of his. He had it activated the moment he arrived. He was being cautious. So he's afraid then, said Minato. I believe so. And I believe that he know me, but not just as a limitless, more personal. What do you mean? The way he spoke, the way he reacted around me. It's almost like he know me as Naruto. Do you have any suspicions of who it was? No, said Naruto. But for one thing, he was cautious. It's just something about him, the way he moved. The way he scrambled his chakra to not let me sense it out. I believe that he's someone that we knew under that mask. Minato tried to scramble his brain to think of anyone, but no one was coming to mind that they would know. Do you mean from Konoha or from the Elemental Nation? Who knows, said Naruto. Don't worry, said Minato. He will pay for all that he has done. But don't be sad, because we've gotten Kiri. We're now allied with them. I will be sending the help and the manpower to help them even more. You, along with their clones, have done so much. We have stabilized the message. It's already spread through the Elemental Nation. And the other nations are well aware that Konoha now stand with Kiri, and especially you. So it's not time to be sad and upset about that guy. Because we will get him, said Minato. I promise you that. As Naruto nodded. Time skip. Naruto stood on the monument, his mind still frustrated about that guy. Until he felt someone approaching. You know, if we keep on meeting up like this, people are going to talk. Kurenai chuckled behind him. About what, she said. Oh, you know, said Naruto. So, what's up, he said, turning towards her. I've heard about your recent mission to Kiri. The civil war there is now over, thanks to you. Well, I had help, said Naruto. It's not that I was alone. Well, would you mind helping me with something, she asked. Oh, and what's that? Something regarding my genjutsu. I can use that limitless reserve of chakra of yours. So, it's like that, said Naruto. You just want to use me, like a slab of meat. Well, I can't say please, she said to him. Please? To use me? As Naruto sighed, I guess that's all I am, huh? Just a slab of meat. I didn't say that, she said. Well, not that I'm against being a slab of meat to a woman like yourself. She chuckled a bit. You never change, do you? Should I? Said Naruto. Not really. It fit you, she said. Thanks, she told him. About what? I'm glad that we can still be friends despite everything. Come on, Kurenai, said Naruto. Of course we're friends. Do you think I wouldn't be friends with you just because you're dating one of my friends? That would be a rather shallow move of anyone. So, what do you want help with, he asks. But guys, be in subscribe right here. If you want the next part and do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. Remember to share to all of your friends in social media platform. And stay tuned for the what if coming over in the making. But I'm over now, see you guys soon. Peace. Bye guys.